Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Miami Heat, they had their exit interviews today. Going to be a lot to dive into from all these things. I'm going to kind of, do probably a few of these over the span of the next couple of days. And so, if there's a topic I didn't get to, I probably will get to it. I want to get to the main two that I thought were the biggest deal today. The first one I'm going to do, and I'll do these two today. I'm going to do Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo, most interesting things that they had to say, specifically because Tyler Herro came out today with an Instagram post, and it's also in a follow-up to a video I did. I talked a little bit about this live when it happened on my radio show, but because that page has gotten spammed a little bit with other content, I know that my stuff isn't as viewed as it can be here, so I do want to give it this platform as well. But if you guys want to see, me and Leroy on anything we talk about, we are live every single day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You guys can interact with us. We took phone calls. A lot of Heat fans weighing in on the end of the season over the last couple of days. We have our own playlist there on the channel that's just specifically Tobin and Leroy. So I would like you guys to subscribe there, and also to us on all podcast platforms. Appreciate you guys, because if you do like this content, we give you, 2.5 hours of it every single weekday. And I appreciate all your support, man. Thank you to everybody throughout the season. It was awesome. It's always awesome seeing everybody at the arena and all that stuff. That stuff really never gets old. It does mean a lot, and I appreciate everybody's support. So thank you very, very much for just viewing, liking, subscribing, commenting, hit me up, the DMs, following on social medias. That stuff all means the world to me, does help support. So thank you so much for all of that. But I did a first video when that Tyler stuff came out. I did do it on this channel, so I do think it's only right that I follow up on it on this channel as well, because he did give some voice to it today on social media, and then was asked about it at the exit interview press conferences today. Pretty much everybody did speak, except for two that were not a surprise. One, a moderate surprise. I don't think is moderate surprise, I think is the right way to put it. So today everybody spoke, including Tyler and Bam, as I mentioned, Spo, and then all the other parties. The only people who declined to speak to the media, and it was voluntary, so there's no punishment for this. It just is what it is. Andrew Wiggins did not speak to the media. Terry Rozier did not speak to the media, and Duncan Robinson did not speak to the media. And Terry Rozier, obviously, I think probably didn't want to get into all of his struggles for this season. Didn't want to get into his future with the team if he wants a fresh start somewhere. Sure didn't want how much is the investigation weighing on you, all that stuff. So he did not speak. Andrew Wiggins barely wants to be on the Heat, it seems like. So, do with that what you will. And Duncan Robinson's obviously got a contract situation, and I can't imagine was thrilled that Spo didn't play him in that game until they were down 45. I honestly found that a little bit of a slap in the face. I know Duncan Robinson makes a good living, don't get me wrong, but he is the franchise's all-time leader in threes. And the yo-yoing of Duncan's importance to go from this guy has some of the best metrics on the team as far as the offense is concerned to we're just going to forget about you and play you in an elimination game. I just thought that was kind of to put him in at the end of the game. I really did. I said it at the time. You could ask anybody who I was on press. I was like, isn't that not the biggest slap in the face to Duncan Robinson? Everything Duncan Robinson has been through with this team, right? And he has been gone from starter to banished to redemption story through back injuries, people disrespecting him, to him having to stand up for himself. The referees give him no love. And I don't know. To me, I just thought that was a move from Spo to put him in late in that game. I know, boo-hoo for the guy who makes $20 million. I get you, but I don't know. I didn't like that. I'm like, you know what, dude? There's got to be somebody else you could throw in that time, right? I would have thought, hey, just put Terry in at that time instead. Well, I guess Terry was hurt. But all young guys, but Duncan Robinson being out there. There's only two guys who shouldn't have been out there in that situation. Bam, Tyler. That's it. Everybody else, let them take their drubbing, so whatever happens, happens. So let's get to Tyler Herro on this whole thing. So Tyler Herro today addressed the quote, and I'm sure that he knew he was going to be asked about this because he was going to show up to Exit Media Day. I'm sure he knew he was going to be asked about this. Maybe that's why it was out there, so it could lead to making sure he was asked about it, or he just knew he was going to be asked about it, and so he just got out in front of it. But Tyler Herro in The Athletic, right before Game 3, was asked by Jared Weiss, I guess, about the whole Jimmy Butler saga, and put this story together about Tyler Herro, hard lessons on being a number one option. And obviously, this thing published after the game, and Tyler Herro had a really bad game. He would go on to have an even worse game, as the Miami Heat would have an even worse game. They went from having a record-breaking 37 to 55. We all know that. But my initial reaction when the piece came out really was, that's a really weird quote from Tyler Herro. It doesn't sound like Tyler Herro. It didn't feel like Tyler Herro. It just was out of character, other than, Tyler Herro will be honest and I think can be blunt. But I was like, the only other thing that I could think of is like, first of all, it just popped out as strange. I was like, I need to know what the context of that was. And then afterwards was like, unless he was like being sarcastic, because I know Tyler can be a little bit like, kind of can be sarcastic with questions sometimes. But either way, the quote, obviously I know I need Jimmy to win. If we had Jimmy right now, I feel like we'd be in a completely different situation. Herro told The Athletic before Game 3. We probably wouldn't even be the A seed. So finding in the middle of that balance is like, damn, we need him, but also understanding bleep. That's his career, and what he wants is ultimately his right to want what he wants. It's just tough to be in the middle of both sides, end quote. So that was the viral quote. Going on to lose Game 4. Obviously wasn't a good appearance, and obviously fueled the fire for fans, commenters like, dude, so you have this quote, and then afterwards you have that performance, like, and you're going into an off season where you're gonna, I imagine, want a contract, which we will get into here in just a second because he had some comments on that. But Tyler Herro then comes out today on Instagram, or I guess it's his backup Instagram. The kids call it a Finstagram. I must sound like so intangibles when I say that. But like kids like, Tobin, you couldn't be pushing 40 any more than that. Like, just stop. Anyway, on his account, Wonder Did It. He puts on his stories. He writes, dude asked me a question in the time frame of January, February when the Jimmy saga was happening. I said I had came into the season thinking I was playing off of Jimmy to him getting traded, and I had to switch my mindset from needing Jimmy to me being the lead guy. And I spoke about the things I learned from JB. Never said I need anyone to win games. Y'all tripping. And Buddy from The Athletic, who wrote the article, is a goofy. He then added another story that said, I usually don't clear bleep up either, but I don't like the dude from The Athletic. So sorry, Jared Weiss. He doesn't like you, just flat out. I did, as I record this today, a little before 7 p.m., I do not see any comment from Jared Weiss. I have not seen any tweets. I don't know if he podcasts or anything like that, but I've not seen any response from Jared Weiss, who, yes, I have not seen around the Heat a lot. I saw him here for the 2 games that he was doing the series. I've never interviewed Jared Weiss. I don't know Jared Weiss. This is, I think, the first thing I've read from him, but whatever. That was Tyler's point on it, and it does make a lot of sense when Tyler comes out, because it's like I could see it being in a spot where, you're asking about time frame and you're thinking to yourself in this spot, yeah, obviously I need Jimmy to win. If we had Jimmy right now, we'd be in a different situation. If you're talking about going from off ball to on ball, something you didn't think you were going to do, that's a little bit different, and look, I know Tyler Herro, and for the smart asses who are going to be like, but he does need Jimmy to win. He didn't prove anything. Hey, dude, congratulations, obviously. But I do think some clarifications on things are important, and he did that. Now, to add a little bit more to it, Tyler Herro was asked to say it in his own words at the exit press conference. He was asked by Ira Winderman to clarify it. And so Tyler went a little bit more in depth on it and then, even doubled down on the whole, I don't need anybody to win.
And since we have you here, and social media could be confusing, and there was somewhat of a clarification, there was a comment that might have been misconstrued about how not being able to win without Jimmy. I'm not sure that was the context. So can you just sort of, in your words, sort of fill us in on the proper context to what has gone around now for about a week?
Yeah, no, I cleared it up this morning. I think everyone seen that. That's the context that it was obviously taken out of context. I was asked a question after game 2, I believe, but the question was asked as if it was February or January or December when that stuff was going on. I don't care if we're 0-82, I would never come out and say I need someone else to win. That's just my personality. That's who I am as a competitor. I think I can do it. Obviously with my teammates and my coaching staff, but I would never come out and saying I need somebody to win in this league.
So there you go. That was Tyler Herro today at the exit interview, and appreciate him, appreciate Ira asking, appreciate the clarity being put out there by Tyler Herro, even more in his words after that, because I thought it was necessary. Like, that's just it. Look, it is just a weird one. It's a strange thing. And it read weird. It didn't sound like him. And I am glad that is, I guess, put to bed a little bit. Now, what's not put to bed is that, he does need to prove things as a winner, and he does need to prove things. He made some of that point today, talking about, he takes a lot of pride in the personal things that he was able to do. And he talked about the idea that one of the things that was interesting that he mentioned today, and I think kind of bucks, like, not that we needed more proof that what Jimmy was explaining about his reasonings for wanting out of the Miami Heat was anything other than money, but which anybody who believed any of the stuff about his role, the respect, all that stuff, they're trying to mess with my money with role. Come on, dude. Like all of that stuff, other than it being the contract, it was nonsense. But Tyler even said today, he came into this year thinking he was going to score career lows because he was going to be off the ball more, and that it was going to be run more through Jimmy and Terry. Now, Terry, obviously, and then, Jimmy being where he's at. I just thought that's, I thought that was a little bit of an interesting, because it kind of runs in counter to what we had heard from Butler's camp about, they didn't like the role. They were trying to phase him out. And, the facts are, dude, when those games were going on, he was taking himself out. He was checking out of those games. And that's just that. And I think anybody who's heard my stance on the Jimmy thing knows where I've stood on, where the Heat should have been with it and all that. But the other thing is, I'm not going to be told stuff from that side of the story being like, it was this, it was that, it was the contract. Like, it's nothing else. Maybe with a slice of the Pat Riley comments, a slice of it, but the most of it had to do with the contract, and that's that, and put it to bed. And speaking of contract, let's get to Tyler Herro's contract here, because he was asked about his contract by Barry Jackson today, and Tyler Herro had an interesting answer on that as well, and where he stands with the Miami Heat on a potential contract extension, which can be offered between the 1st and the 22nd. I believe it's 3 years, $150 on top of, I think he's got 2 years, 60-ish left right now. So, yeah, that would put him at, I guess that would make it like a 5-year, $210+ million. I'm going off the noodle here. I don't exactly know what Tyler's current deal is, so I apologize, but I know that this one's about 3 years, about 50 each year. I know it break like 47, 54, like that. You get it. You guys get it. But anyway, here was Tyler Herro's answer on a potential contract.
You've been a good sport and handled like a pro everything. You've dealt with the trade rumors for the 2 summers, starting, coming off the bench, starting on the contract extension, which obviously there's that October 1st to 22nd window. Does it matter to you either way, or under contract 2 more years anyway? Is that a big deal to you whether you get it in October?
big deal. Not the biggest deal, but I mean, I would love to be here. The front office, the organization, I think the city, everyone knows how much I love Miami. I've been here since I was 18, 19. I got 2 kids here. So this is really home for me, and I love being here. Basketball is why I'm here at the end of the day, and I wanna win, and I know how badly this organization and the city wants to win. So I would love to be here, but we'll see what happens. If it doesn't get done in October, I think we can get it done next summer. Just be a little bit higher of a price. So we'll see.
I got to be honest with you. Truly, wherever you stand on Tyler Herro, whether you think he can't be a winning player or you don't think he's a max guy, I love that answer. Love it. Love everything about it. Think there's nothing wrong with it. I think any Heat fan that has an issue with Tyler Herro, saying he wants to finish his career in Miami or this is home, I don't know what to tell you. Wants to be part of the winning that he knows the franchise and the city want, don't know what to tell you. And then having the confidence to tell you, hey, if we don't get it done in the fall, we can get it done in the summer. So he's not saying he's going to make a stink about it. It'll just be a little bit more money, which I believe it would be then in the case of like 4 years. I think it's like then you can sign for with the 1 year, then you can sign with an extra 4 years. So ultimately, it's 5 years guaranteed, but it's just, are you going to be 5 years starting in this year or 5 years starting at the end of this year, and then you have another year at the higher price? That's what he's referring to there. I got to be honest with you. If you're a Heat fan, wherever you stand on Tyler Herro, there's 0.0% wrong with that. And quite frankly, I kind of liked it. I liked it. I liked the confidence in it. I think he answered it perfectly. I think not only knowing his desire, knowing that he wants to be part of the winning, and then, but also self-belief. Like, all right, if you're not going to, then we could get it done in the summer, and it's just going to be, an extra $50 million on top of the extension. The one thing I would say it points out, just the one thing that was notable, though, and I think it should be taken note, because I do think there's been some talk, would he take anything less than the max extension? No, that sounds like, hey, you can, if you're going to come with the extension, it's max extension. I don't know what those takes, but any negotiations of like, it's, is there a 3 years 120? Is there a $10 million a year bump? Like, could we do the Brandon Ingram deal? Could we do something like that? No, that sounded to me like it could be the 3 years at the max, or I'm going to shoot for the 4 years at the max. Now it's a risk on his part, because if he, I guess it's not really a risk, because if they don't want the extension, they don't want the extension. But if he stinks up the joint or somewhere else, then maybe he does get the max. So there's risk on that too, obviously. I don't know how that's going to go. I really don't. To be quite frank, I think the Miami Heat should wait to extend Tyler Herro, because in my mind, I think another year of clarity is good. And I think if he's true to that, then that really does speak to, okay, I'll go earn it. I think that's good. And it's not like Tyler Herro is going to be 37 like the Jimmy situation, where you're scared by more years. Like, it's either he's going to be, 29 or 30 by the end of the contract. Like, you're not scared by that. So it's not an age timeline thing. And I guess the only thing you could get burned, if you're the Heat and you look at it, like, look, what's the thing you could get burned by? I guess if Tyler makes All NBA or MVP, I believe those are the big kickers that make it up. I'm not quite sure. I'm just doing this. I'm just, like I said, I'm not Bobby Marksing this. But I believe if it's like All NBA or All or MVP, or, well, it's not gonna be Defensive Player of the Year. Let's be. But if it's any of those, then it could be a monster max, of course. I think that he's eligible for that. And if Tyler Herro has a season like that, I mean, that's more good news for the Heat. And like Tyler Herro said, that's on the Heat's side of it where they'll be banging their head against the wall because, they got to sign him to that contract. But for right now, getting it done, yeah, I think there does have to be a little bit more of proving it. And, for people on the other side, like the Bam, like, look, I don't know what to tell you. The Bam thing, Bam's got good timing on his contracts. Like Bam has gotten his first extension came after a finals run. And this last one didn't come at the best time for the franchise because I think him getting it kind of sight unseen was a little bit of like, did that also piss the Jimmy thing off? I don't know. I imagine just naturally because Jimmy was pissed about everything probably. But yeah, you come on like that still was a little bit like, Jimmy got hurt at the end of the playoffs. Who knows what this year is going to be? Bam, he's been there at the end of these runs and a piece of the run. He gets the max contract. Tyler Herro still, and he even kind of admitted this today about being the winning player, being known as a winning player. These last two ones, it still needs to be out there. And I think that my thought of it is, look, if the Heat end up making a big splash this year, and they're able to keep Tyler Herro, and he's not traded for a whale, I think they will extend him. I think they will. I think that I think they would do that once they know, like, oh, let's say the Heat are able to pull off whoever. Let's say it's Giannis, and they're able to do it without somehow giving up Tyler Herro. Then I think they'll be in extension mode for him. But if they are not, and this is a bit of a reset year, like we've talked about, we talked about on the radio show today about if the Heat did a step back year, then I think it's probably something that kicks till the summer. But as far as the answer is concerned, his desire to have it, the answer, no issue with it. Honestly, think that he answered it perfectly. Kind of like the answer a lot, to be honest with you. And we'll see where it all goes from here.